On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. The 11th day of Christmas. Yes, one off that big old 12. And it is a monstrous treat that I have for you tomorrow. So 11 pipers piping, potentially the most tenuous of the links that I've done thus far. And that's really saying something. We're going to begin in a child's pose. Now, I'm going to go with 2 types of pipe for today. The pipe which I think they're referring to, which is a lovely little flute-esque pipe, pipers piping, tra-la-la-la, but also one of those old-fashioned pipes that people used to puff on. So with the length and the little bit at the end. So stay with me on that pipe. Remember, long and little bit at the end. I'm going to start in a child's pose. If it feels okay to you, knees together for a bit of a change. To get that end bit, you see, and then here's the long bit of the pipe. Yeah? Yeah, you see where we're going with today. And just find a space to take some deep breaths, maybe closing the eyes, letting yourself release. Please do bring those knees wide if that feels more comfortable. I forgive you for not piping it up in the potentially traditional sense. I mean, there's nothing traditional about anything of, of the sorts of pipes that I'm asking you to do. But just find a couple of deep breaths here. Bringing yourself into this space. Maybe taking a moment to think about how you found this. A little pocket of yoga every single day. Quite a sizable amount of time. And a lot of random things thrown in there. Just recognising anything that comes up. Anything is valid. Anything at all. Now, if they're not already, go ahead and take those knees wide. Lay the body down. And we're going to wrap our left arm underneath our right. So wrap it all the way under, left palm facing up. Now, either staying here, and you could peer under this right shoulder, or take your right hand and plant it on top of the left palm. You might clasp the hands together and use that right hand to ease the left through a little. That will kind of intensify the stretch, whatever you feel like. So stay in the other position if that feels better. Otherwise, maybe gently easing this left hand through. Finding these long pipe-like shapes through the body. Lovely, take one last breath here. And then if that hand is clasped, gently reach it back out in front. Unravel the left arm, send it out in front and take it over to the other side. Right arm wraps underneath left. Maybe you stay here peering under left armpit. Maybe left hand comes on top of right, clasps and gently eases the right arm through. So you just fold yourself down towards the floor. Send the weight over to the right hand side of the body, of the hips, as you ease that right arm through. Taking one more breath here. And then if that left hand is clasped, send it back forward, unwrap the right arm, send that forward too. And then gently come up to all fours. Hands stacked under shoulders, knees under hips. And let's find a cat-cow here. Inhaling to lower belly, lift head. Exhaling to press spine up towards the ceiling. Inhale to dip belly, lift the head. And exhale to move it through. Keeping this with your breath, finding this shape a couple more times, really letting the body find a little bit of space, a bit of stretch. Any additional movements that you'd like here, add them in. Go for it. Oh yeah, nice cricks and cracks. And then the next time you come back through center, just keep your body at that neutral space. Slide the hands in front of the shoulders, tuck the toes, press the hips high, downward facing dog. Big old bend in the knees, send the bum high, then maybe gently starting to straighten out the legs, but only so that you can keep pressing back through the upper body. Keep the hips high. As you inhale, let's take this left foot slightly closer to the center as we reach the right leg high. Can you bend that leg? Press the knee up towards the ceiling, open the hip. And then step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Lay that left knee down. So we're in our lizard lunge, right toes pointing in the same direction as the knee, so maybe slightly off towards the side of the mat. And we're just going to take a straightening because of the pipe type connotations and lengthening of the leg. So inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And as you exhale, can you start to straighten this front leg, maybe lifting the toes, but just finding a little straightness. It doesn't have to be anywhere near completely straight. Roll the shoulders back, just straightening. Yeah, inhale to shift it forward, bend the knee, rise the chest. Exhale to straighten, yep. Inhaling to come forward, lifting the chest. Exhale to straighten. Wonderful, one more time like this. Inhaling to lift the chest, exhale to straighten, and just stay here for a breath. If you have got blocks or props, you can always prop yourself up on them here. Bring your hands a little closer towards the floor. We're not here for much longer. And then bend into this front foot. Press the hands down, lift the back knee. Can you step the left foot all the way up to outside of the left hand? Lovely. Snuggle the feet into hip width. Yes. Tuck chin into chest and roll really slowly all the way up. Like a snake unraveling. You'll see why in a second. So stay at the top of your mat. I'm just going to turn to face you so you can see my arms. We're thinking about a snake unraveling as someone summons it from the nest in which it lies, right? You see, some sort of pipe connotation here. So we're going to bring our hands as if we had a little flute. Yes. And then lift them all the way over the body. Can you take that flute to the other side? Da-da-la-la. Lovely. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, take them to the other side. Little flute. Bring it all the way back. Yes. Now release the hands. The flute has stopped playing, so the snake is really slowly gonna be sent back down into the nest. Tuck chin into chest. Roll all the way down really slowly, curling yourself down. And then edge the feet out to hip width. Yes. And then can you sit down into your squat, your malasana for a breath? Maybe pressing hands to heart center, pressing the elbows out into the thighs. It's cool if your heels are lifted here. And again, if you have got a block, if you've got props, feel free to sit on it. Sit on your block. Now press the hands into the floor, rise the hips, step right and left foot back to your plank. Yes, lower knees, lower body, all the way down to the ground. Spread those fingers wide, roll the shoulders back, press hips down as you lift the chest, looking forward, pressing tops of feet into the mat. Exhale to release it back down. Inhale, press up to your knees, tuck your toes, lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Wonderful. Inhale, we lift that left leg, we open the hip, bend the knee, press it up towards the ceiling, and then we step it through to the outside of the left hand, lay that right knee down. Inhale, roll shoulders back, lift the chest. Exhale, we straighten this front leg, maybe lifting the toes off the floor. Just finding that straightening, you've still got a little lift in your chest. Inhale, press the foot down, bend the knee, inhale to rise, exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend, shift the weight forward, exhale, take it back. One more like this, inhaling to shift it forward, exhale to take it back. This time stay here just for a couple of breaths, lift the chest slightly. Yeah, if you want to walk the hands further forward, further back, whatever feels good for you. Finding a deep breath here. And then bending through that knee, lifting the back knee, stepping the right foot to the outside of the right hand, wiggling those feet into hip width, and can you uncoil yourself once more as you slowly rise all the way up. You've got that little flute action once more. Hands over to the side, playing the flute. Inhale, rise them all the way up. Exhale, flute is on the other side. Inhale, rise, bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, flute. Yes, one more time, taking it over to the other side, having a play of the flute. Release the hands, flute stops playing. Down you go, tuck chin into chest roll, all the way back down. Inch your feet out to toes pointing off, heels in. Sit the hips down, find that squat. Just for a breath here. And then press hands down into the floor, lift the hips, step left and right foot back to plank, lowering the knees and the body all the way down to the mat. Fingers inch slightly forward, inhale to find your cobra. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, press up to knees, tuck those toes, downward facing dog. Now inhale, lift that right leg high, open the hip, again bend the knee, press it up to the ceiling, and then bring this knee behind your right wrist, lengthen that left leg out. So still operating with that old school pipe, the puff puff type pipe. If you've got this kind of curl here and the extension at the back, you're in your pigeon. Lovely. And just taking a breath here, upright, up on fingertips, lift the chest. And then we're going to sit down onto the right bum cheek. Right sole of foot comes to the inside of the left thigh. Left leg is slightly out at the diagonal. So we've got this extension here still, this pipe that we are playing. Reach your left hand down the inside of the leg, right arm comes up and over, find a side bend. This left hand only goes as far as you want it to, and as far as it still allows you to open up this right shoulder. We're folding in a minute, not quite yet. So keep it open and up. Taking one more breath. And then inhale, lift both arms up, twist over that left leg. Exhale, release it down. Trying to send your head and your chest towards the end of that foot. So the calf, the shin, trying to reach yourself forward, because that's where the mouthpiece is. That's where you need to play. Find this fold for one last breath. Then tuck your chin, roll yourself up. Now you're going to take your left leg down towards the back of the mat. Lean into your right arm as you send the right leg back with it. So both legs down towards the back of the mat. And then roll onto your belly. And we're out nice and long, where we're going to become a long old pipe. So, forehead towards the mat, send the hands back behind you, little fingers facing up. Press the hips down into the mat, roll the shoulders back. Inhale to lift head and chest, snuggle those shoulder blades back, and then maybe lift the legs. Finding this long pipe, ready for a piper to play. Take a big old deep breath here. And then exhale, release it down. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers, hands stacked just in front of elbows. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Find your Sphinx pose. Yeah, nice. Finding that little opening. And then press through the hands, lift the elbows, release all the way down. Hands come back under shoulders, press up to knees. Tuck your toes, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. So as you inhale, lift left leg high, bend the leg, press the knee up towards the ceiling, and then bring the knee behind left wrist. Finding your pigeon again, spreading that right leg out long behind you. Up on fingertips, rolling shoulders back, lifting the chest. And then rolling onto the left bum cheek. Right leg is out at a diagonal. Left sole of the foot comes to the inside of the thigh. Now take that right hand down the inside of the right leg. Lift the left arm up and over. Find this side bend. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. Bringing that right hand up as high as you need it to keep that shape open. Press that left knee down to the mat. Lovely. One more breath here. And then inhale, lift both arms up, twist over that right leg. Let's extend that long pipe as long as you can, remembering to reach chest and mouth and head as far forward as possible where the mouthpiece is as you fold over this leg. Really lifting that chest, trying to reach the mouthpiece. I told you they were tenuous. The pipe is piping. I almost wish the birds would come back. I'm excited though because we're about to get one of my favourite poses right at the end, which is my fave. And I've been avoiding because I thought this was the perfect moment for it. So just you wait. Tuck chin into chest and roll all the way up. And instead of sending the legs back this time, we're going to come to a cross-legged seat. Come to the top of your mat. Oh, and make sure you've got some space behind you because this is where we're going to find one of my fave poses. We're going for a plow pose where you're extending the legs back over you. So look something like this. Your feet could be hovering, they could be down to the mat. You could clasp your hands behind you. Now, however you would like to find this, you can roll back a couple of times and find that plow pose. If you're not getting where my pipe thought is with this, it's the curling of the body, of the bum, the legs extending overhead. Yes, into that little pipe. Now, if that doesn't feel good for you, you've got a wall nearby. You could press your legs up against the wall, come into the wall from the side, and then take the legs up the wall. You could place a block, a pillow, a cushion, something comfy underneath your sacrum, your hips, and send your legs up into the air. Or you're back in that plow pose, legs over your head, maybe fingers clasped behind you. Stretch those legs out, that long pipe. Feeling the curling of the body. And then if you are in this shape, if you're in this plow shape, bringing your hands to your back, snuggling your shoulders underneath and lifting the legs high into your shoulder stand, really stretching yourself up into that long pipe. Imagine that you cannot get that music out of that pipe unless you are as straight as possible. Everything needs to be in the right place to get that beautiful sound. Really straighten your legs high. Yes, finding this beautiful pipe pose, staying here for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. And then taking your legs overhead one more time, sending the palms of your hands down to the mat to act as brakes as you slowly roll yourself back down. Now, if you had your legs up the wall or on a block, remove that block or that wall, come back under and join us for a fish pose. We're pressing the palms of the hands down on the mat, bum comes on top. As we come up onto the forearms, send the tip of the head back, find an opening of the chest, this long length of your pipe. And then gently release yourself all the way down to the floor. Sending your body long, snuggle, shoulder blades underneath, palms facing up. This is where I leave you. As always, any final poses, Shavasana of your own, more than welcome. Take it in your own time, your own pace. Otherwise, gosh, I'm a bit sad about it. I'll see you tomorrow for the final in the instalment of the 12 Days of Christmas. It's going to be a medley of all. Expect utter chaos. I'll see you then. Have a lovely day.